What was the passion that brought you to algorithmic trading straight away?
I really like to automate things,
What was the dream for you?
get a steady passive income.
In order to manage like 40 accounts, how many hours per day do you need?
I think I don't need that much time.
Pitt is one of the most experienced algo traders in our VIP community.
Did you always want to have so many accounts?
I never thought that I have like 40 accounts.
And how do you find us?
It was the style I looked for.
How do you find expert advisors? Where do you look for?
I think almost everywhere.
How did you get into prop firms?
I think all of the companies like FTMO, like True Forex Fund are the same. They have a lot of rules. Some rules I didn't know.
Where do you want to see yourself after 1 year from now?
I want to be profitable. That's the first goal.
And what would you suggest a beginner trader?
I think you have to make a plan before you start.
Which one stand out for you? Which one you can trust?
I like the most the
And before we see what Pitt has to share with us, I want to ask you a favor. Our analytics show that most of you watching the videos haven't subscribed to the channel. YouTube just shows the videos on the homepage, you click on them and you watch them. But if you take a moment to subscribe, it's a one-time free action. This will mean a lot to us because it gives us a chance to talk to more people in the niche of algo trading. So I thank you very much for that. Pitt, welcome to my channel and I'm very happy that you're here. Thanks for traveling all the way from Germany.
Thank you for the invitation.
I am more than happy you're here because you're one of the first people I met who started with auto trading right away. Most people, and when I say most people, probably 99.9% come to algo trading space after they lost money on the market. Could be crypto, could be stocks, could be forex, but usually people realize they want to trade with expert advisors after losses, and you got straight away to algo trading. How that happened? What was the passion that brought you to algorithmic trading straight away?
I really like to automate things. And from the first day, my dream was to have like robots who making steady profits for me. Small profits, but steady profits every day or every hour, every minute. And that was the idea of trading with robots from the first.
And from the beginning, you were also into the idea to make small profits, or at the beginning you wanted to?
I think it was a kind of both.
Because usually it takes time to realize or to see realistically how much robots make. And people always come with false expectations that they can make, 50, 100%. Maybe because of some videos you shared with me that at the beginning you didn't like our videos because we were showing, big profits. But that's always the case when you are trying to build a YouTube channel. You want to, show some good results so people will follow you. But really, recently, I prefer to speak to people like you, to have subscribers who have realistic expectations. And even if you don't have a lot of subscribers, we better be honest and transparent. So what was the dream for you when you were starting with trading in general?
I think it was the idea of passive income. To set up an EA or more EAs and get a steady passive income with forex trading.
And you're working your full-time job and you do this as a hobby, or you do this as something you want to replace your job?
No, I love my job. I do it for 25 years now. I'm head of sales in automotive sales. The forex trading is my hobby. I love that. I have the passion for it, but I don't want to quit my 9-to-5 job.
Okay. And how many hours per day? Because you've mentioned you are trading over 40 accounts now. We'll get to that later, what you're trading. But in order to manage like 40 accounts, how many hours per day do you need?
I think I don't need that much time because I choose my expert advisors to my trading strategy. You just have to have a good look on the portfolio as well. That's why I use a space tracker.
Okay.
And I need like I don't know, like an half hour or an hour a day.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah. And then when you look at all of the accounts, probably spend some time in the weekends.
Yeah. In the weekend, I take some hours to reorganize, to change the infrastructure, to onboard new EAs, but I do it on the weekend. The market is closed, I lose nothing. I do it on the weekend.
Probably it makes a lot of sense that when you like your job and you do it as a hobby, you don't put too much pressure into it. Because when I see people who are struggling to make a living off trading, this is when they take bigger risks. This is when they blow accounts one day after another. And I spoke to a client just 2 days ago where he lost like 5 accounts in one day, or it was 5 huge challenges in one day, which is still a loss, right? And he was just struggling to make some money out of it. But when you do it as a hobby, do you feel some kind of a pressure that you're forced to do certain profits until the end of the month or until the end of the year, or you're more relaxed of like whatever you make, it's a profit or not?
I think it's better if you don't live from the profits, but I also have the pressure. I want to be profitable. I spend a lot of time to doing this, and it's not the money I want to earn with it, but I want to be profitable. I want to be successful. I don't want to blow accounts. I also blow accounts in the past, like every forex trader, but I have the same pressure. But right now, if I use you call it the boring trading style, with 2 or 3 or 4% a month, I don't have any pressure at all.
Okay.
Because it's a kind of set and forget. It's a little bit boring, but it's good for my heart as well.
Okay. And how did you find us? How did you find Algo trading space? What problems were you looking to solve, or you just wanted to see and meet other people who are into algo trading?
I think I come to Algo trading space with your personal YouTube account.
Okay.
And I told you before that it was the style I looked for, but the first videos I never trust.
Yeah.
And after you start with the 100K project, I trust you. I trust the story you want to tell us. Then I joined the Algo trading space. I was looking for guys like me, like guys who trading forex with expert advisors, to find new expert advisors, to have guys I can ask if I'm not sure with one expert advisor, if I need some back test, some ideas, what broker or account type I use. That's why I choose the Algo trading space.
Yeah, actually the 100K project was probably the most important thing, not just for the YouTube channel and just to gain this trust, but for me personally, to invest some more money into live trading so we can really test so many EAs. And I think now the next step of where we'll start putting them together into portfolios will be a game changer, because we can actually make more profits from the money we trade with, right? I shared with you before the podcast, when we have one not very active EA like with the market master, instead of staying there and waiting for the next trade, which might happen in a couple of weeks, we can have a couple of more EAs in this account to trade and use the capital. But we'll see how it goes. I do believe that it's not that important if the expert advisors will be separate or they will be in one account, as long as the risk is measured and as long as they are diversified, not trading the same currency pairs. And you were one of the beta testers when we launched the space tracker. How do you succeed to do everything? You have your full-time job, you have this as a hobby, but then you were actively testing what we launch, you actively wanted to see what's new, and you shared some ideas. Is that mentality of always wanting to be, up to date, always wanting to be the first to use it, is that what drives you to the profitable side?
As Marine told me, or asked me if I want to be the beta tester for the space tracker, I was happy about, because I were on the border from, I don't know how many accounts I had, but I'm kind of losing the control, not the control, but the overview. You have to open like the VPS, you have to open like the MetaTrader app on your telephone each day like 20 times. That's a kind of an automation for me, yeah, to get a better overview, to be faster in looking my accounts, analyze the trades, the profit per month, the gain, the drawdown, and that's why I were happy to be part of the first testers.
And are you actively using it now?
Every day.
Every day.
I think it's my like an co-pilot.
Yeah.
It's my cockpit, and I can take a look for like 5 minutes and screen my whole accounts. If it is a live account, funded account, or instant funded account, it doesn't matter. And I love this program.
Yeah, it was a game changer for us as well, because with so many accounts, there was also always issue with FX Blue was detaching from the charts, and we couldn't keep track of everything. So we really needed a one-stop guide or one-stop app to monitor all accounts and to have it structured. And then we came up with the idea that we can share with the VIP users. I still can't find a way to share it with everybody publicly because it takes resources, and we want to keep it free, so we don't want to charge anybody with that, but we'll see how it will improve as a product. But I do believe it really makes it much easier for everybody who trades more than 5 accounts, let's say.
But it's also great for like 2 or 5 accounts to have it in one place, especially if you're using different VPSs or brokers. The program is great.
Yeah. And you've mentioned you have over 40 accounts.
Yeah.
Did you always want to have so many accounts, or it happened on the go, you added one more and you added one more? How do you succeed in managing so many accounts?
I think it happened over time. I never thought that I have like 40 accounts right now. I want to diversify my portfolio a little bit, and using smaller accounts to diversify my risk as well. That's why I looking for new EAs, looking for mostly the EAs you displayed on your YouTube account. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that comes over time.
I've seen many more EAs that you are trading with, and we are still not trading. How do you find expert advisors? Where do you look for outside algo trading space?
I think almost everywhere. I'm following YouTube channels. I'm close to MQL Marketplace, MQL5 Marketplace. I also looking for new EAs from trusted vendors. I purchased EAs before, and yeah, there I find new EAs.
And what is your criteria to start trading new expert advisor?
Yes, I want to diversify my portfolio. I don't want to use the top 10 MQL5 EAs, but from time to time I take a look on the MQL5. I test them on demo, put them on small live accounts, and then I try to public the trades as a signal provider.
Oh, okay. So people can actually follow you and copy trades from the profitable strategies you have.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And so you test first on a demo, small live account, and then when do you decide what you want to see with the EA or with the small account before you deposit more money in this live account?
I need to be comfortable. I have to understand the way the EA works. I have to use it for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months to get in good feeling what the EA is doing when he execute the trades. Is a strategy like the vendor showed that the strategy is? And yeah, that's mostly the criteria to find new EAs.
And you shared with me that you have an FTMO funded account, but before you share how you got that one, you're trading primarily live accounts or funded accounts?
Both.
Both, okay.
I have like I don't know, like 35 live accounts with a different equity. Someone starts from 200 USD, mostly are with 1K.
Okay.
And the peak is with 3 to 5K.
Okay.
But that's only for the EAs I first use in the 1K step, and then deposit more to the 5 or 3K.
Okay. And
if I trust the systems.
Yeah, I see. And before the podcast, Pitt shared with me that he's trading with a couple of brokers, but one of them is IC Markets, which is one of the brokers we've been using as well in Algo trading space. I'll leave a link down below in the description, but if you want to test the brokers, you can try on a demo account. These are virtual money, so you won't be risking real capital, and you can still trade and test any strategy or expert advisor. All right, so you've built kind of a system to test first on a demo, then a smaller live account, a bigger 1K account, and then go for 3 or 5K, pretty much what we are doing as well. So I'm very happy that someone with your experience is doing something similar to what we are doing. And that totally makes sense, but what is your criteria to stop trading an EA? Because that's also an important part in algo trading. When do you decide to shut it down and throw it in the bin?
Actually, it is when I have the feeling that the risk is too high for me. When I survived a drawdown period, or when I see that the lot size increased too much, then I stop the EA. Hopefully before the drawdown or the blowing the account. That's the only way I stop an EA. It's not when it makes like 1% instead of 2 or 3%. That's not a big deal for me. I let it run.
Okay. All right. So you're happy even if you make 1% or...
It's okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's 100% okay, because 1% a month is, 12% a year, and you can get that on the stock market nowadays, especially when the stock market is going down right now.
And sometimes I put like 2 or 3 EAs with 1% together. When I see the risk is acceptable for me, I put another EA in the same account.
How do you combine expert advisors into a portfolio? Because this is something we are doing now quite actively. What is your method of combining different expert advisors in one account?
That I don't trade the same symbols.
Okay.
And I have to have an experience before. When it trades, does it have a lot of drawdown periods? And yeah, that's mostly it.
Okay. And tell us about the FTMO account. How did you get into prop firms? Because that's something I was very passionate about, and I got very skeptical. Now I am a little bit, gaining my confidence back after we've got a few withdrawals from prop firms. But as far as I understand, that's a small portion of your entire portfolio. Primarily you trade live accounts. But how did you succeed to get an FTMO funded account and withdrawals from there?
I think it was 2 years ago with True Forex Funds and My Forex Funds.
Okay.
I think the companies Oregon right now, and there I had a lot of funded accounts with them, and then I quit for a while.
Yeah.
Because of the bad experience. And I think all of the companies like FTMO, like True Forex Fund are the same, that they count your money, that they pick your money and leave after a time. And I think like 1 year ago, I restart with FTMO. I purchased an 100K challenge, and I need like 6 or 7 months to go over the verification phase. And now I'm funded since January and had I think I have like 3 withdrawals.
Okay.
Right now I got the money back from the fee.
All right.
The challenge.
And you're trading fully automatically with expert advisor there?
It's fully automatic, yes. But I trade it like it's my own money. Yeah?
Okay.
I don't try to get 10%, 20%. I just want to get 1%, 1.5%, 2%, and then I stop trading and withdraw the money and restart again.
Okay, all right. You don't need to say which expert advisor you're trading there, because if many people start the same, you might get disqualified from there, as it happened to me. So that's always the risk when you record YouTube videos. But I'm very happy that you had this success, because it's rare nowadays to get profits out of the prop firms, especially with EAs, because it's one of the easiest excuse for them to deny payments and to close your account.
They have a lot of rules. Some rules I didn't know. Last month, I traded not manually or actively during a restricted event. I think it was the non-payment rules, rules, whatever, some rules. And I didn't know, because it hit a stop loss and execute my order. And that's why I get a soft breach.
All right.
They reduced my leverage, but they let me trade again.
Okay, all right.
That's a positive side of FTMO.
Yeah. We see with the team now more positiveness in general in the prop firm industry, and I was really expecting this because of the huge competition out there nowadays. Before it was just FTMO and a couple more, now it's so many. Obviously, the scammy ones closed doors. Probably they already opened another brand with different name somewhere, right? But the huge competition, I think, will force the top companies to really have their own rules. We agree with that, but when traders are within the rules, they should really pay out to keep some kind of a good reputation, because when you're not regulated, the only thing you can have is the good reputation in the industry. And I also wanted to thank you for sharing your results publicly on the algo trading space, because you were one of the few VIP members who decided to share his accounts publicly, so we can see and compare some of the expert advisors we were already trading. There are some that we didn't know about and we learned from you. So out of the EAs you are trading, like the Quantum Queen, the Market Master, Multipair, FX Core 100, Aussie Victor, Japan Strike, and many more, which one stand out for you? Which one you can trust? Even that's a strong word, but more and more we are talking about trust in algo trading.
I like the most the Japan Strike EA.
Okay.
Because I like the way it trades. You can have a good feeling what capital you need to trade with the EA. The most upcoming and the most profitable EA right now is the Quantum Queen.
Okay.
And it's MQL5 #1, and it is worth it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to test it out. You shared that with me probably a month ago, and I didn't have the time to set up an account, but I'm trading a few of the other CAs from the vendor, and they look pretty solid. So I'll definitely give it a try with the Quantum Queen. And give me a third one, just for our listeners, if they want to start with 3 EAs based on your experience, which one would be the third EA you can pick? It's not a suggestion, it's not a piece of financial advice, just from your experience.
I think it's Market Master.
All right.
I also have it on 3 live accounts with different equity, and it don't trade a lot. But when it trades, it's profitable. It don't has any big drawdowns. I like that much.
Okay, I trade 2 of these EAs, and I'll make sure to start trading the third one as well. And before the podcast in the car, you shared that you've reached the maximum of your VPSs, like they're overloaded, and you have this kind of a structuring issue. What is the challenge really when you get to trade 30-40 accounts? What is the struggle there?
I think you have to have a plan from the first account to the second to the third. You have to have a good infrastructure for that. And right now I'm using a lot of VPSs, and I don't have enough VPS space to add more EAs, to have a good overview over the EAs, to make an automation for restart or something like that. That's why I hope that you can give me some inputs, some ideas to reorganize.
Yeah, after the podcast, I'll show you everything we've done with the team recently to reorganize all the VPSs, how many accounts we keep per VPS, and how we really keep track of it. But it's challenging. I can imagine it's challenging for me having a few team members, but when you're doing it on your own, you have to be really, really organized. Or you just need to lower the number of accounts, maybe group more EAs in there and just make it easier. Because I think when you make it too complicated, you might make mistake with the set file, with the risk, with something that will cause you losses. And in the end, you will have a huge portfolio, but if it's not optimal, if it's not ideally structured, then it might cause troubles.
And you can make a lot of wrong things. You can choose the wrong time frame. You can take the wrong set file. You don't use the right inputs for your EA. Everything happened to me in the past, and that's why I like the premium portfolio. You offered, I think, some weeks ago, to build an selection of well-knowing, good working, and trusty EAs.
Yeah, and at the beginning we wanted to do it kind of a hidden privately. And a few of the VIP members obviously were not happy with it because they said that's not transparent anymore. And I agree, but the reason I wanted to do it this way was because I know that many people will just grab these EAs and put them on small accounts, like $1,000, and it will become risky. Like the 5K for me is the minimum because we've done so much backtesting and we saw that if we put it on a smaller account, and you have 3 or 4 EAs inside, one or the other will blow the account. Sooner or later, they will have drawdown at the same time. Even they didn't have it historically. Markets are so volatile nowadays. Wars happen. Mr. Donald Trump talks all the time and moves the markets. Yeah. So we really wanted to not share what we are trading in there just for the purpose of people's safety, not to replicate the wrong risk. But then I listened to the community and I asked my team to upload the set file so everybody from the VIP will know which EAs are in there. But again, it depends a lot on the broker you will be using or on the funded account if it's a funded account. So I think everybody still should make a good research, a good backtest, compare, maybe lower the risk at the beginning and start increasing after some time. But I think it helps exactly this case where you reach to 30, 40 accounts and you say, okay, that's just too much for me. It's overwhelming. Let's reduce the number, group a little bit bigger accounts. But I can say that's just for the experienced people like you, and beginners shouldn't be really doing that because and you have to go through all of that, right? You have to go through building an account by account by account, EA by EA, so you see how each one works before you combine them into portfolios. If you start combining from the beginning, you can make some money, but chances of blowing the account quickly are very high. Okay, so tell me, what is your plan? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve, or where do you want to see yourself after 1 year from now?
Honestly, I want to be profitable. That's the first goal. And then I don't want to put more own money into trading, just to grow the accounts with existing profits.
Okay.
And I think to reduce a little bit the complexity, don't have 1 EA on 3 accounts. I think you can split it between live accounts and funded accounts. That's okay, but you don't need like live accounts with 200, 1K or 3K, just to reduce the complexity a little bit and find new EAs you provide in your videos. And
we're trying our best
and diversify my portfolio.
Yeah. Having the plan is actually more important than doing it itself. Sometimes I see with myself, it takes just months, sometimes years to figure out exactly how you want to do it. And when you know how to do it, you can do it for one night, restructure everything and change your accounts, for example, change your account size. But yeah, that sounds like very realistic, and I'm pretty sure you'll do it. And what would you suggest a beginner trader who is listening to this podcast on how to build this portfolio steadily, and so he will be organized from the beginning?
I think you have to make a plan before you start, especially for the infrastructure, for the EAs you want to trade. And I would suggest to start with one account after another. Choose the accounts you provide on your website with low risk, with like monthly 2 or 3% gain. Don't look for the EAs who showing you like 20 or 30%. There are some EAs in the market that they offer the profits in this way, but don't make the faults I make in the past and go more for success. Choose a EA which is successful with 2%, and then take another EA with 2% and take another EA with 2% and so on.
That sounds like a perfect plan, but it's sometimes so hard to teach the people to do that. And I'm having so many one-on-one calls recently, and people especially interested in these premium programs, portfolios. People always want to trade the bigger percentages, right? And we try to convince them to start with the small ones. And as I shared just before we started, I'm always having here the table with the results, and I primarily look at two things. Number one is the floating loss, if it increases in any of them. But number two is I look at the monthly gain, and when I see some of the EAs gaining more than 10 or 15 or 20% a month, I see there is one, then I just want to discuss it immediately with the team. Okay, what's wrong there? Because that's unrealistic. You know, we either need to increase the capital, maybe it's a very small account, and yeah, we have quick gains, but chances of blowing the account are high. Like some from the team quite often says, these accounts are screaming to blow, you know, and you just need to see them. And you just need to lower the risk there or fund with more capital. But the majority of people, and I'm pretty sure now even 90% of the listeners, they will hear this, but they will not accept it. They will still go and pick the ones that make 10 or 15% a month, because people want to make money, right? That's a human emotion that is so hard to control. But I agree, starting with 1 or 2 accounts that make 2%, 3%, and with the time you add something, is probably the best case scenario of where you can just lift from the beginning and go on the profitable side from the beginning, which I didn't do. You shared you didn't do. And most of the people just share that they initially lose money, and it takes a couple of years until you realize that you shouldn't be having these unrealistic expectations. And it took me quite a long time, unfortunately. I hope more people on the podcast will hear to your message, because that's very important. And I think it's a great message you delivered to all the listeners and viewers of the podcast. Pitt, I want to thank you very much for joining the podcast. I hope you will continue to be so useful to us and the VIP, beta testing new stuff. And I'm sure your experience will be useful to thousands of people watching and listening to the podcast. So I thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, Petko.
And I hope it's not going to be the last podcast. Maybe next one we can do in Germany. Who knows?
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's speaking to you. Thank you.